Consider the figure and notice that in order to just balance the mass of the person, let's call it little m, has to be such that the center of gravity of the plank and that person is directly over the right hand side seesaw to balance the center of gravity of the plank. So if we take the center of the plank to be C, and we consider this our 0 point, then the center of mass for the plank is at x equals 0, and the center of mass for the person, let's call it PER for person, is going to be at the distance from C all the way to the edge, which is half the length of the plank, or 3 meters. And now we can say that the center of gravity for the system, for the person and the plank, can be given by the two forces acting on the plank, which is basically the mass of the plank times where its center of gravity is, which is at 0, plus the person, which is little m, its distance from the center of mass of the plank, all over big M plus little m, where big M again is the mass of the plank, little m is the mass of the person that we're adding. Furthermore, the distance for the right hand seesaw to the center of gravity, this distance here, is going to be d over 2. So if we work a little bit with this one, we can get that this is little m over big M plus little m, all times L over 2. And if we want the center of gravity to be at the right hand seesaw so that it balances, then we're setting C, x of C, G to equal d over 2, which means that M over big M plus little m times L over 2 has to equal, clean that up a little bit, has to equal d over 2. And if we multiply everything by 2 times m plus big M, we get m L equals quantity big M plus little m times d, which implies that little m times L equals big M times d plus little m times d, which means that little m by itself is going to be d over L minus d times big M. And we have those values, so we can say that little m then is 6 meters. D is 1.5 meters over L, which is 6 meters, minus 1.5 meters, all times 90 kilograms, which means that the little m is going to be 30 kilograms. So the person can weigh at most 30 kilograms in order for us to balance this plank.